Today we're going to talk about the relationship between your fat and your immune system. What you need to know is that obesity weakens the immune system. But the question is, why and how? There's two main types of fat. You have the superficial fat around your body, which is the stuff right beneath your skin. And then you have visceral fat. That is the fat that's in your midsection that is spilling off from your liver being fat because there's no place to go. So the fat goes around the organs and sometimes inside the organs. With superficial fat, you're going to have more accumulation of B cells, which make antibodies, and T cells. Okay, that's part of the thymus. So these are two different immune cells. But with the visceral fat, you have more natural killer cells and killer T cells. Now, what does that mean? That means you're going to have a lot of these things right here, which cause a lot of inflammation. So people that have visceral fat have more inflammation because they have an overreactive immune system. The buffer for this overreactive immune system, the thing that's supposed to suppress and counter it, is called the T regulatory cells. And those are going to be deficient when you have too much visceral fat. So what's making the inflammation is your actual immune system. The other thing that's really bad about having too much visceral fat is the antibodies that you create against viruses and even bacteria. They tend to lose their memory a lot quicker, so they don't remember the infection. So you have less fighting force when you have more visceral fat. Now, this really applies to the COVID-19 situation in that one of the big predisposing factors is being overweight. Not to mention the things that go with being overweight: high blood pressure, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, etc. So we have very specific types of immune cells that are being generated by having this type of fat around your midsection. We have deficiency of the cells that are supposed to suppress the inflammation, so thereby increasing inflammation. Inflammation itself weakens the immune system. Being overweight weakens the immune system. And also the cascade of inflammation that's generated from these immune cells can create insulin resistance. Now, in the other videos, I talk extensively about consuming sugar and refined carbs increase insulin resistance. Consuming frequent meals increase insulin resistance, but I really haven't mentioned inflammation causing insulin resistance. Now, if someone's a pre-diabetic, this inflammation could be just the thing to push them over the edge into diabetes. Because really the difference between a pre-diabetic situation and diabetes is that insulin resistance suddenly fails to compensate for insulin, and then the shift takes place. So let me just kind of draw this out so you can get this, because it's very important. We have the pancreas right here, we have the cell right here, and we have the hormone right here. So this is insulin. Pancreas, cell, and receptor. So let me just show you what insulin resistance is. It won't let this insulin into the cell. So what's going to happen is, because we don't get a connection, we don't get the feedback loop to turn off this insulin, so it pumps more and more and more to the point where you have 5 to 7 times the amount of insulin than you should. And all that excess insulin is kind of camouflaging the problem because it's pushing the blood sugars down, because usually the person's consuming a lot of carbs. This inflammation right here can almost act like a carbohydrate and push this to the extent where your cells in the pancreas get so tired, exhausted, they're done. They can't pump out any more insulin. So the insulin starts going down, down, down because of this. So now you have a situation, the cells are burnt out, plus you have this at the same time. There's nothing there to push the blood sugars down. So then we go from pre-diabetes to diabetes, and that's really the mechanism. So what do you have to do? You have to get on keto, do intermittent fasting, and as this visceral fat goes away, the inflammation is going to go away, and that's going to improve over time to reverse this thing. So I wanted to demonstrate it's not just the carbs and the frequency of eating, it's also the fat and the inflammation that can cause the problem. And this inflammation could also come from other sources as well. Omega-3 fatty acids, injuries, infections, like virus infections chronically. Anyway, there's a lot more to talk about this, but I just wanted to cover this one point. Thanks for watching.
Hey, we're back.
With another amazing recipe.
No grains, no sugar, totally keto. There's no suffering in keto.
Absolutely not, Karen.
And it's an immune system builder.
Absolutely. You have to check this out.
I think you should hurry up, watch the recipe, and make it yourself. It's just so easy to be keto.
But is it simple?
It's super simple.
We hope you enjoy making it as much as we are enjoying eating it.